All right, so what I've done now since we last spoke is I went ahead and created all the variables. So now there's a variable for the triangle calculator, the rectangle calculator, the ellipse calculator, the circle calculator. And remember what I did, I just used to break the lines into multiple lines so it was easier to see on the screen and didn't have any other problems. I said like try HTML equals try HTML plus, so that takes what was already in triangle HTML and adds this to it. And I did that several times to create each variable. So now I have my 4 variables created. I removed the button that was for testing. I'm going to leave this insert HTML function because I'm going to use a variation on it in a minute. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to create one final variable, and I'm going to call this NoCalc. And it's just going to be some text that says choose shape above to continue. Okay. So that's just going to mean that if they haven't chosen a shape yet, it's going to show this message instead of one of the others. Now, a couple things I need to do. I'm going to create one more variable, and I always like to keep my variables at the top. So I'm going to say variable shape type. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, I'm going to add an onChange event here. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but so there's going to be an onChange event. And what an onChange event does is it fires when a select box value is changed. So when the person pulls down the select box and chooses something other than what's already selected, the onChange event will fire, and the onChange event is going to run a function up here that I am going to call choose_calc. Okay, so choose_calc. And basically what choose_calc is going to do is it's going to be an if-elif statement, and it's going to say, I'm going to use that variable that I created up here, shape type. Say shape type equals, and then it's going to be document get element by ID, and it's going to look for something with the ID of shape, because that's the ID I gave to my select box here. And I'm going to say dot value. So what that does is that gets the value that's selected. If they have none, if they have select shape selected, the value is going to be none. If they have triangle selected, the value is going to be try, and so on. And now I'm going to say if shape type equals try, oops, I put that in parentheses, I have to switch back and forth between languages. If shape type equals try for triangle, then I'm going to say document.get element by ID, and I want to actually put this not in the result, but in the calculator section. Okay, so what this code does is, and I need my closing curly bracket here, is it says if this changes, we're going to run this function, which is the choose_calc function, and it's going to get the value that it just got changed to and assign that to shape type. Then it's going to check if that happens to be try. It is going to take the calculator. It's going to take the text up here, the try HTML, all that big chunk of HTML, and it's going to put it in the div that has the ID of calculator. And then I'm going to have some elifs. I'm sorry, else if. Again, I'm switching between languages. Elif is Python. So I'm going to say else if shape type equals, let me look at the next one is rect. And then I'm going to copy this. Oops. I'm going to fill the calculator not with the triangle HTML, but you guessed it, the rectangle HTML. And I'm going to save this. I'm going to test out this code. So let's try it out. If I say triangle, it put the triangle calculator in there. If I say rectangle, undefined. So I obviously have an issue with the rectangle code. So let's look at what my issue is. I call it rect calc. So that's why. So let's save that. And we'll go back to here, we'll refresh it. If I select triangle, it gives me the triangle calculator. Rectangle gives me the rectangle calculator. Now I haven't connected the circle or the ellipse or the none yet, which is under select shape. So that's going to be your job. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to add an else if for the circle calculator, an else if for the elliptical or ellipse calculator, and an else if for no calculator at all, no calc. And each of those is going to do basically the same thing, which is take that HTML and put it in the, I lost my train of thought there. Sorry, you're going to take the HTML and put it in the div named calculator. All right, so that's the next step. Get to it.